Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 285th episode of my series, where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So like many of the other artists that I've decided to feature in this modern set of favorites, this is someone who's been long overdue for a spot on the page, but it's also one of those cases where the delay came from not really having any of the vinyls I wanted to cover. It isn't like I'm not a fan or just don't fuck with the music. In fact, that really couldn't be further from the case with today's pick, because the 2020 album End of a Decade by Hus KingPin is, in my humble opinion, a true staple and cornerstone of the gritty, boom-bap-inspired New York underground scene that basically dictated everything I was listening to from the late 2010s to the early 2020s. I've mentioned this dude countless times on the channel in passing, usually alongside guys like Rock Marciano or the various Griselda members, as one of the undebated godfathers of that more minimal, grimy, and lyric-based movement that honestly was essential in restoring New York's former position as the mecca for dope hip-hop. And Hus KingPin was one of the earliest and most prolific rappers who was paving the way for this smooth drug rap scene back in the early 2010s, which is still going incredibly strong today. While the only other vinyl I have from Hus at the time of filming this review is his 2021 Portis Hus concept album that was themed around the legendary trip-hop band Portishead. He has a myriad of stellar projects from the last decade, and his output is so consistent that there's honestly too many LPs to name, but a handful of my personal favorites include the first Slime Wave, the Connect tape with Smooth, Gunpowder, Threesome, the Tricky tape, and Bjork Kingpin. However, End of a Decade here ranks above all the rest for me, and maybe it's personal bias just because this was the first project of his that I truly fell in love with, but even with this discography never really taking a dip of quality even now, heading into the back end of 2024, it's really no contest when it comes to his top album in my book. The reason this thing has always had so much replay value to me is because every single beat is the epitome of what this type of New York fly rap should sound like, and Hus has a super slick, easily identifiable voice that never goes to waste with how skilled he is with his pen. These aspects are both on full display right from the first track, which has this dark, creative instrumental that has the same sample flip famously used for Redman's iconic single, Tonight's the Night. But this time around, it's pitched down a few semitones, giving it this slower, warped quality. There are more lyrical highlights on this LP than I can count, but one of my favorite moments that shows off Hus KingPin's witty and metaphor-filled style as a writer comes on the track Iceless, which is another example of a song here that has an absolutely sinister and icy beat. The first half is designated to guest performer Ralphie Reese, but after his quality verse, Hus takes the mic and gives us a true top-tier performance, which I have to warn you may contain some slight errors on my part, because I genuinely can't find any source that has the official lyrics for really any of the songs off this LP, so I'm just going to completely go off what they sound like to me, which is something I had to do a little earlier in this group. But keeping that in mind, this killer verse starts with, "I only record once in a half a year. I'm moving at a gentleman's Vladimir. I blow sick wine glasses. My 9 no sign language, quick triggers, and you ain't won since the Knicks." And that was 73, so how you figure we something that coincide with my side, you a lie. Hempstead to Bed-Stuy, do or don't die. My grandma in Hollis, Queens, that's word, she a polished queen. And y'all rappers lost all y'all flavor up in your ice cream. I don't even listen to you no more. You dudes gossip more than my whores, and y'all pushing age 54. I'm the nicest, quote me lord, my vice is coke on the Ouija board. Feed my allure, my glamour is gold like my chest pump Bret Hart. hold the ropes tight, some fold my nose frozen at night, I explode in the ocean lights. There's a few more lines after that, but honestly I couldn't decipher one of them for my life. So I decided to just move on to another one of my favorite Wavo verses on End of a Decade, this time off of the third song in the track list. Though again, this is going off my ear and aren't confirmed lyrics. So try and bear with me if I get anything wrong, and I probably will because there again were a couple words or phrases so hard to hear I basically just tried to guess with context clues, which isn't exactly easy with this type of MC. I also have to mention how this is yet another example of haunting production that envelops you with an addictive combination of dark samples and full speaker rattling boom bap drums that definitely prove how plenty of modern producers are able to do justice with these more current iterations of 90s hardcore hip-hop. Back to the Hus KingPin verse at hand though, he kicks this one off rapping, "Kingpin, Wizard of Dawns, tossing smoke bombs, jugging law, crushing my palms, know my linear. My 10 your, that's 10 lords, know the 10 laws, up and down with coke still a seesaw. Kingpin Cassell, hoes hanging in my suite like Maxwell. Vatican Crown Res Hold'em, they still see through, get a whiff of this Kingpin Don Cheadle. Moonwalk over you fuck bitches, hear the Taurus talk triggers, the Chamber Lord, the Chancellor. Wavy Robinson, diamond sperm my Timbo step, I'm no 5%er I still rep. 100 reps on the steps through Budapest, beautiful set, send you on a first class stay of paradise. My parents in sight, Malaysian nights, bullet powder pentagrams at your gravesite. There's an impressive group of producers who come together to make this thing happen, including Derringer, TCOR, Wick 101, Arc Druids, One Session, Rock Marciano, Manu Beats, Spectacular Diagnostics, Clipto, Waylo, MWP, B-Sun, Big Ghost Ltd, Evidence, and DJ Premier. We also get a grocery list of featured artists on End of a Decade, and outside of Ralphie Reese, who I already touched on earlier, that extensive roster is made up of Rosewood, Tri-State, Smooth, Rosati, Supreme Cerebral, Chris Crack, Vic Spencer, L.A., Planet Asia, Westside Gun, Conway the Machine, Guilty Simpson, and Cool G Rap. For my 3 favorite tracks overall on this one, I definitely would have to go with Wizard of Dawns, Iceless, and Time is Running Out. Then when it comes to my honorable mentions, I want to recommend Sabertooth Coats, Shallow Graves, Playoffs, Payday, Midnight, Project People, Ghost in the Sunshine, Official Waves, Coke Casa, and The Wave Man. Thank you for watching my 285th video. Next time we have a pretty bittersweet pick who's probably one of the only artists I've covered who made a name for themselves in the 2010s, yet unfortunately passed away tragically young, and that was a handful of years ago now. So look out for that late legend's introduction to the page, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite moments are off this personal favorite of mine. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.